Oh, wow.
Like
that was easy.
Now that allows us to get the actuator out.
That is how you take that off.
To pull the cassette out.
All right, so after you get everything out of it, and it looks like this. Yeah, let's finish.
I would definitely recommend a professional certified technician do the job first of all.
Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're installing an iDF delete that you have never seen before. This is welcome to the channel. Today we're working on Barney. Yes, we are bringing Barney back alive.
Shake that butt, shake that butt.
Alright, so you might ask, what happened to Barney? Well, if you've been following my channel, you know I've been taking parts of Barney. The first thing I did was, I took the motor out of this and put it on the car's key, which we're taking that motor out and we're doing something else with that. But that is for another video. On this one, like I say, I've been taking parts off of it. I guess I needed this. Whatever was here at one point. I needed something off of here. Of course, doesn't have a motor, so that's why I've been taking parts of it. It was up in the rack, how to get the forklift, get it down. Now, the plan with Barney is, I'm excited about it because I'm putting a iDF motor. What? Ha! You might be questioning yourself, why am I putting an iDF motor? That's the worst motor ever, because the transmission breaks all the time. What the f? Well, that's why we're doing it. I have a 21 iDF motor that I bought on a deal. Supposed to be good. We'll see. There's a company that came out with a iDF delete. Make it easier and cheaper than buying all the parts. It's just one part with a gasket. Ha! We're gonna put in that to the test and see how good that product is. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna get Barney on a trailer. We're gonna get my motor that is somewhere in here. Somewhere. I don't know. We gotta look for it. And it's a Florida motor. It has no paint. So that should be fun. And then we're taking all of that to the guy who designed this part. And we're gonna go to his house. We're gonna work on his shop. He has a pretty cool shop. And we're gonna meet him. And we're gonna do the whole job over there. And see what happened. All right. This is the deal. Not only did I took part off of this, yeah, I put this back together, that's fine. But there's nothing in here. Oh boy. Found a used iDF shaft, because remember, this key, I use everything to build that one. There was no carbon seal. So now I have the option of this mediocre carbon seal, because of course this is for me. So I was thinking about putting a used carbon seal. A bad idea. Bad idea. So I changed my mind with that. Maybe I should put a brand new carbon seal. But the problem is that tomorrow is Sunday. And we were gonna do this on Sunday since he is so busy. So this has changed everything. So right now, I am not putting a used carbon seal because I don't even know which one it is because they're all different. What I'm gonna do, and then I found this wire harness. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not good. Maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe I should get a new wire harness. So the point is that I am definitely not ready to get this running tomorrow. Got an older intercooler. This is not ready. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take the motor and we're gonna do the iDF delete. And you guys gonna see in like 3 seconds. See you tomorrow in 3 seconds.
Tomorrow.
All right guys, so we are here with Cody. Cody and I, we know each other for a long time.
Almost 20 years this summer, I think, 2006.
I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing. We have come together a lot of times with different ideas and different stuff. But you're no stranger. I mean, we watched the races because you were there. You are our team.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the people here a little bit about your backstory?
I mean, how much time do you have?
Well, I don't know. Make it short.
Super early from the beginning. I mean, I've been on watercraft since before I could walk. I got into the industry professionally in 2011. Fortunate enough to join one of the biggest dealerships in Florida. Sam Nimi, really good friend of mine, helped support me through my career a lot. Brad Motorsports, definitely. I've learned a lot. I've done a lot with them. And then we also had our factory race team, which, I mean, we were super successful with. I mean, I wear that proud. I've been with Factory Yamaha since 2017 now. I won a championship with them. And then after that, I became one of the factory engineers, going to all the races, taking care of all the riders, winning them podiums.
Nice.
Yeah. Now we're with Farling Racing on the factory Yamaha team. I see we got IHRA this year, which is a huge influence on the industry.
That's a name change.
It was such a great weekend. It was an amazing weekend. We ended up tying first and getting third on the podium, which was great for the Monster Energy Factory Yamaha team. Super proud of that. Career demands have kind of taken me out of my engineering spot. And this year I was like, you know what? I'll stay up late. I'll do what I got to do. I want to get back to engineering. So that's what brings us here today.
Yep. And another thing, you guys are going to see this guy more often because what you guys see there is going to be involved with drag racing in my world. And this guy is going to be involved with that. We're going to see him at the hydro drags too, taking care of business.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting.
That'll be coming later, but definitely look for some new exciting things coming to the hydro drags this year as well.
I'm really looking forward to that. All right, let's get to business. We're here because you made a car for the iDF, because I know we talked about it and you're like, man, this iDF, it's not cost effective. It's so expensive. And I said, I want to come out with something. Why don't you tell them what you came out with?
So, yeah, I mean, it was such an expensive process to have to go ahead and change the PTO cover, change the PTO shaft, change the drive shaft, and just all the money dumped in these parts and this extra labor. I was like, why not make it more simple? That's the solution that I came up with that you'll see here today.
Cool. All right, well, let's get to work and see what we get.
So here's the final product. Super simple. Don't have a whole box of parts, bunch of labor to change parts. You literally have one part. It's made out of 4340 hardened steel, completely durable, wear resistant. So in the box, you're going to get the new coupler shaft, a new OEM gasket, and in the final packaging, we're going to give you the correct retaining compound, because there seems to be a lot of confusion from people on, oh, just throw red Loctite on it, just throw blue Loctite on it, which is not the right thing to do. So we're going to go ahead and supply you with the correct retaining compound so there's no confusion, as well as the correct torque spec when you're installing this.
All right, so what do we got? We got a typical Florida motor, nice and crusty. We're gonna have fun with this one.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the gearbox, get that off of there. Put this tool down. Easily slide it off the dowel pins. Comes right out. Now we've got the gearbox off, and as you can see, the spacer is in there.
Now comes the fun part. Taking this guy off.
The star of the show.
All right, we got our tool here. We're going to take out the spark plugs so it'll be easier to spin the motor so we can put it on timing.
No idea where we're at.
All right, so we're looking for timing right now for so we can lock the motor. There you go. All right, we're locked in. When it comes to taking this off, first thing we got to do is we got to take this plastic water pump cover thing off. Let's take this out of the way, and then we're going to heat up the thing, and we go from there. Get it out of the way, and now you got more access. You still got to be careful with the impeller, because if you get heat on this, you might damage it. All right, when it comes down to taking off the iDF coupler, the manual says
to use a heat gun.
All right, good luck with that. That's the right way to do it. Some people use a torch.
They do, yeah.
We don't recommend using a torch with a motor inside the jet ski.
Definitely not. I would definitely recommend a professional certified technician do the job first of all.
Yeah.
This is a pretty expert level job. I wouldn't recommend any guy that's going to go ahead and change his sponsons is going to be able to go ahead and handle this task as well.
It's tricky. We might make it look like it's easy, but it has tricks and stuff that a professional would know. But if you want to tackle yourself, go ahead. And if you're going to use a torch, I highly recommend that you take your engine out so it's nice and nothing catches on fire. All right, let's preheat this and we're going to take it out. With the magic of YouTube, we heat it up and we are ready to tackle this thing. All right, so once you heat the crap out of that, then yeah, it's
Definitely helps with
yeah. Alright.
and she's loose.
And that's how you do it. If you're lucky.
So obviously it's going to be hot. So I'm not touching it. I'm loosening it. Alright, so before the engine was removed, we went ahead and extracted all the oil out of it as much as we could possible. There's always some residual left. I mean, you can never get 100%. Hence the reason why I got it tilted on the engine stand like this. Any residual oil is just going to flow right to the back of the engine, preventing most residual leaks you may have from removing the gearbox. There may be a slight amount in the gearbox. Just make sure you have a rag or something like that. Same thing with the thermostat housing. Just keep yourself a rag there, and once you pop them off, you'll a little bit come out, and nothing crazy.
Now, this is a good time to clean this out if you have debris, and make sure you clean the old gasket.
That's very important.
Very, very important, or you're going to have a leaky motor, and you're going to have to redo the whole thing. You don't want to do that. All right, cool. So we got this part down. Now we're going to go to the gearbox, and we're going to show you guys what to do with that. All right, so what are the tools we're going to need for this?
So basically, you're going to need a 4mm Allen, an 8mm Allen, and a T30 Torx.
Okay.
So the first thing we'll do is just kind of remove the actuator. Also remove the set pin for the shift fork. Let's get this out of the way. So now what we need to do is pull that pin out of there with a magnet.
Oh,
Just
wow.
like
that was easy.
Yep. Now that allows us to get the actuator out.
That is how you take that off. So this pin goes in here. Huh, always wonder about that.
So now it actually allows us to pull the cassette out. And not quite there, but a few other components to pull out. So next, we're going to go ahead and remove this external clip.
All right.
Remove that external circlip. Remove this bushing.
Right.
Then this will slide right off. Just try to hold them as one piece because they are spring loaded and they will jump out at you. Remove this secondary bushing here. And this shaft here will stay. Then we need to remove these needle bearings that the original secondary coupler shaft was riding on. So we remove this plastic circlip, and then there's a few different ways to go about it. I recommend taking your heat gun, putting a little bit of heat around here, make sure it's all clean, and using a blind hole puller. That's the best way to pull these blind bearings, is with a blind hole puller. Same thing with your bearing here. Go ahead and take your heat gun, heat the gearbox, get your blind hole puller, go ahead and pop that bearing out as well, because obviously we no longer need them.
All right, so took out the bearing, well, actually the 3 bearings, and that is what you should end up with. All right.
So if you ever wondered what an iDF complete cassette looked like out, there it is.
All right, so after you get everything out of it and it looks like this, the only thing from all this pile of mess, this is what you're gonna use.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to reinstall the actuator for a few different reasons. One, obviously, because it's acting as a plug for oil. And two, so we can actually reconnect the harness back into the actuator, even though we're going to turn the iDF off in the ECU. So what this does, it prevents from having any exposed connectors or having somebody cut the connectors off in the case of, let's say, you know what, somebody in the future wants to go back to iDF. Why you would want to, I don't know, but you still have that option. But the best part is keeping the connectors from being exposed to the elements, because especially down here in Florida, we have a lot of salt air, salt water, stuff like that, and our harnesses certainly don't like that. So we'll go ahead and reinstall the actuator, even though it's not hooked up to anything except for the actual harness. So from the outside, it kind of looks like this thing still has IDF. So we'll get the actuator reinstalled. We'll get the set pin reinstalled. What this does is basically just blocking off the holes from any potential oil leaks. Which, if you do forget this part, I'd say that's a pretty big oil leak.
Yeah.
So get this back in there. Get your 8mm. Tighten it back down.
All right, and that is ready to be installed. All right, so now with this puller, we're gonna take out that bearing.
Basically just a standard puller, nothing fancy. Go ahead and tighten up behind the race there. Couple pulls.
Oh, that was easy.
And that's it.
All right.
Alright, so we went ahead and removed the bearing out of the PTO housing, as well as the bearings out of the gearbox. You might say, well, why even take them out? You're not using them anymore. Well, you gotta remember who I'm with here, Ernesto. Lightweight. He loves to take all the weight out of the rotating assemblies, out of the motors. But no, not just lightweight. With any alloys, metal, heat, what does it do? It expands. With nothing, no shafts holding these bearings in place, you don't want to risk of the alloy expanding and maybe the bearing walking and then falling down into the bottom of the gearbox or the bottom of the PTO housing or anything like that. So what do? It's better just to remove them. Alright, so now we're pretty much prepared to install the new PTO coupler. Like I mentioned before, we supply you with the correct formulated retaining compound to put on the threads. So there's no confusion about that. So you'll apply that to the internal threads. Go ahead and screw it on the end of your crank. And then the recommended torque is 185 foot-pounds. Torque it on there. And now you pretty much reverse the procedure.
All right, so and it helps if you got two people.
Yes. So make sure you get your green, the supply locked retaining compound on there. Get your correct tool. The heavy duty tool is definitely the recommended one, but your impeller tools, regular impeller tools, should do the job just fine.
All right. Just like that, we got the piece torqued. And now we just put everything back on. All right, so we put the gasket on.
There you go.
And there you go. Of course, I couldn't use my rusty one back on, so we use a new one.
Same reasoning for keeping the actuator on here, to keep the existing plug watertight, sealed, away from the elements. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the actual gear position sensor as well. So that's going to go back in the same position. So that way our harness is going to be tied up in all the OEM tied off spots and sealed away from the elements.
Yeah, let's finish. Come on, let's quick.
Throw your water pump back on.
Torque that guy up.
Final step, you are going to reuse the original OEM IDF spacer. This kit was designed to basically have the identical dimensions for your stack, which is going to be your drive shaft, your coupler, and your crankshaft. So we are going to reuse this. So do not forget to put this back in. Simple step, put some oil around the O-rings, put it in the splines, push it through, knock it all the way back against the crank, and you're done.
And you go.
Just like that. That's pretty much the install of the new Tetro Racing IDF coupler kit. It's coming out soon. We have our first production batch that's in process right now. Hopefully going to see it in a few weeks. We will be taking pre-orders. Anybody who wants to get on the list, go ahead and get one of these. I know I've got a little bit of demand on them already, so be sure to go ahead and hit us up. You can hit us up on Instagram at Tetro Racing, and also my personal Instagram, Cody Tetreault. You'll see those popped up here. And then also go ahead and get a hold of my buddy Ernesto Calas, because he will be a dealer for one of these in the future. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
And yes, you're going to be able to get this product at Calas Performance. Now remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.
Fearless.
Alright, look at that. Got a haircut. Ha! What do you know? I went from having an afro to this. Think my barber went crazy. After that, and I got a haircut. Think my barber went crazy. But that's okay, because I'm gonna need a haircut, because I'm gonna go really fast on Barney. Alright. We'll see what happened. And you guys are gonna see how. What's it called?
International Hot Rod Association.
Okay, yes. Fuck. Hold on. Yeah, let's start over. When we took out this engine, right before we took it out from the jet ski, we drained the oil out. As much oil as we could. Jesus, I'm all over the place.
Of course, Loki's got to get involved in everything. The shop helper.
Well, hello there. That's a big boy. And yeah.
And